Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we're going to be bullshitting about some Hollywood stuff. Not that we know any better for the fact that, basically we live here in Southern California, but it's interesting stuff that touches our little geek nerves and make our geek hearts all aflutter. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the possibility of Disney buying out the creative arm of media for 20th Century Fox.
Ooh-wee.
Yep. Let me get the introductions out of the way. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Gray Mouse One.
Okay, back in November, there were talks going around. There was basically what was leaked out to the press was that Disney was in talks with 20th Century Fox for basically offering them, hey, look, we are interested in buying your film division, your TV show creative division, all right? Your back library of movies and your back library of TV shows. The only thing that we don't care about, that we'll just leave completely up to you, because basically it'll remove any sort of responsibility for you to come up with anything new. You just go ahead and react and report whatever's there, is your news division and your sports division. All right. But your major creative, fictional show channels, we would take those, any shows attached to it and all of that, okay? And geeks worldwide were like, oh, you mean there may be a possibility that the X-Men and Fantastic Four would come back into the Marvel fold as far as cinematically? And many of them rejoiced, all right? Well, those talks died down in November, all right? Or at least news of those talks died down in November. But they were leaked out for a reason, all right? Nothing hits the news without hitting the news for a reason, all right? Well, just last week, the beginning of December, all the way through from around December 4th or so, it started being reported again that talks between Disney and Fox for, the sale of all of basically Fox's creative media and their division of creative media and everything else popped up again. And then this time, not only did it pop up, but major financing news sources like Fortune, Wall Street Journal, and everything else were reporting on it. And they were also saying that there is a grand possibility that we're going to hear some sort of definitive decision based off of that, maybe sometime as this week, starting with today is what? Actually, December 11th, which is going to be Monday tomorrow. Guys, what do you think about that? I know there's a lot of things that are going on, but on a surface level, what do you think about it?
If this were to actually happen, the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, it's in the middle of its phase 3. Would this affect it in any way?
Probably not phase 3, but the ones going forward, yeah.
I don't think it would affect phase 3, even though it would be epic if it did for a certain amount of reasons, but I don't think so. There's too many things to even consider as far as having, especially in the cinematic universe, being controlled by Disney, by Marvel again. Before I get into that, Gray Mouse, what are your initial thoughts about this?
My initial thoughts are, wow, we can actually get a good Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's called The Incredibles.
But
Disney has already done that.
Which a part 2 of that is coming.
There is so many stories that can be done with the X-Men. I mean, I don't even watch the Dark Phoenix saga again, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited that, especially having the X-Men, Deadpool, and the Fantastic Four under the fold of Marvel again. And I bet Marvel has been kicking themselves in the butt ever since they sold out what, in the 90s, early 90s?
The early 90s. But the thing is, when Stanley did all of that, he literally had to do that just to make sure that
Oh, yeah.
the Marvel comic book line still
failing.
existed. All right, because it was going to disappear.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll be really glad to have that consolidated. But, so these are my initial thoughts. I mean, what? Disney's going to be in charge of The Simpsons?
Quite possibly.
I'm just saying. So maybe The Simpsons might get good again.
No, they just need to kill that off. It's been over 25 years. Freaking no.
But no, those are my initial thoughts. I mean, I know there could be some repercussions.
You brought up an excellent point. I didn't even realize that The Simpsons was 20th Century Fox. I didn't remember that until you.
Yeah, this one right here. It's news that makes a lot of geeks, really excited and everything. Especially if you're a fan of the Marvel movies, and if you're like everybody else for the last 10 years, you've been playing in the back of the head. So what would the X-Men be like if it was handled by the folks at Marvel Studios? What would the Fantastic Four be like if it was handled by the folks at Marvel Studios?
They would actually be good.
Well, here's the thing though, is that, there are movies from within the X-Men string, all right, X-Men line that are arguably good, all right?
What? Okay. First Class and
yeah,
no,
I mean, X-Men 2 was good, all right. First one was pretty good also.
No, yeah. I only liked Nightcrawler scene and Magneto getting out of prison. Everything else,
all right. But this video isn't about us nitpicking individual videos or individual movies. Okay.
Really?
No, it's not. Okay, because we're talking about the Disney possibly going out of their way and acquiring Fox and all of their creative property. Because the thing is that this isn't the first time that Disney has went out of their way. This isn't the first time the mouse has asked Scrooge McDuck for a loan.
Mouse.
All right, then the mouse has opened up his wallet. Okay.
Wait, the mouse and the McDuck are the same company.
Yeah, this isn't the first time that the mouse has opened up his wallet to go ahead and pick up a large creative set. Like back in what was it? Back in 2012 when Disney went ahead and they bought Lucasfilm to the tune of around $4.5 billion. Okay, they went ahead and they did that, and then people were kind of mixed about that. But then when it came out that hey, look, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make new Star Wars films that aren't going to be under the creative direction of George Lucas. God bless him for creating the series and creating the universe and other things like that. But a lot of people, they didn't feel that he had the greatest grasp on it. Okay. Not only did they buy Lucasfilm, but they bought what was it? Industrial Light and Magic and everything else, which has helped them greatly as far as handling special effects and visual effects for all of their movies going forward from that point. And then a few years after that, in 2015, that's when Disney went ahead and they bought Marvel to the tune of, again, around $4 billion. Okay? They bought not only the comic books, but also the studios. Okay? Now, basically what we have here, though, is that if you think about it, they pretty much put down on creative lock, access to literally 2/3 of the creative type of stories that geeks will go ahead and follow. I was about to say that young boys will go ahead and follow all the way throughout their childhood, but it's really geeks, all right? Whether or not they be boys and girls, all right, will follow, into perpetuity, all right? The Marvel IP alone, literally, even without the ones that are controlled by Fox, gives them access to so many characters that they can literally go ahead and make a new Marvel movie, all right, or excuse me, they can make a couple Marvel movies, 4 Marvel movies a year, all right, for the next 100 years and never run out of stories.
What one thing too is they also, I think, doesn't Fox don't they own the Peanuts now as well?
I don't know if they own the Peanuts, but I think as far as that goes,
Fox.
I think I don't know if they own that, but I know what they do own is that they do own the rights for the original theatrical versions of the Star Wars movies, which nobody can find on unless you've got the original VHSs from all the way back in the 80s. All right, because the only thing that you find if you go out of your way and you find the Star Wars versions, on DVD or Blu-ray. For the old theatrical cuts, you can't find them anymore. And that's one thing that they're going to have access to if they do that.
All right.
Okay.
So let's talk money now. And by money, I mean that would the FCC specifically allow this to happen, being that Disney, by buying 20th Century Fox or 20th Century Fox, that's a huge monopoly on. I mean, they own Lucas Films. They own practically all of Marvel, with the exception of Spider-Man.
I think that's probably part of the reason why they went ahead. As far as these talks go, they're very specific about getting a hold of their creative arms, all right? Not their media arms that control sports or news or anything like that, all right? Because guess what? If Disney went out of their way and decided to go ahead and create a sports channel or a news channel, even without buying Fox, the FTC would say, wait a minute here. I don't know if that's something that you guys, can credibly do, all right?
They already have, ESPN, right?
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah. So if they had Fox Sports also, that's 2/3 of
that's a big no-no.
Yeah. They wouldn't be able to do that.
I can understand.
That's the thing. They're connected with ABC and with ESPN.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
can understand Marvel trying to consolidate the superhero.
I think that's the only thing they should go for.
Well, they're still trying to get, like they said, they're still trying to get those intellectual property that they sold out back in the early 90s to everybody. They're trying to get that back in, and this is a good chunk of it. I mean, you got Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. That's wow. And like what you just said earlier, Reverend, they got enough material for the next 200 years. I'm going an extra 100. Marvel has been around forever.
Yeah, and the thing, here's the thing too, is that one of the things that the kind of figures that they're throwing around for this sort of purchase and everything else, a lot of the folks like the analysts and the know whether or not there'd be a Wall Street Journal or Fortune magazine or other things like that, they're saying that if this deal goes down, it's probably going to be to the tune of around $60 billion. Okay, if they decide to go ahead and do that, all right. Which kind of begs the question: so why would Disney want to go ahead and do that? Aside from going ahead and getting the Marvel stuff, because even if they do get a hold of all the Marvel stuff under their fold, that may not be enough to go ahead and account for a $60 billion expenditure. All right. The one thing that it will do, though, is that if they do get a hold of all of that back library of movies and TV shows and everything else, is that you got to remember Disney themselves want to start their own streaming service, and they need content.
Yeah,
that's available on tap. Day one. Mm-hmm. To provide to people who are going to be streaming and subscribing to their service, whether or not be $10.99 or $29.99 a month.
Yeah, so pull the Disney Channel off and then just have this. Hey, if WB's gonna have their streaming service.
I mean, if this deal goes down, then who's left? Universal Studios?
Let's see here.
Universal,
Paramount,
yeah.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the guys that are left.
It's funny because didn't Paramount make Iron Man?
Originally, they're the ones who did the distribution for Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the ones and the Avengers. I thought they were the ones that did that too.
Did they do that, or did
their first?
I would have to go back and look. But yeah, as we were saying, the thing is that as excited as geeks are about this, we do know that there are other geeks and there are other people who pay attention to this stuff, and they aren't so excited about it. All right, there's the folks who are thinking that, all right, the FTC may be stepping in to keep them from creating such a huge creative entity where they have a possibility of creating a monopoly over, like, basically creative stuff in sci-fi and stuff like that. There's also other folks who are sitting there and they're like, wait a minute, say what you will about, like, the X-Men movies and stuff like that. Fox was able to go ahead and actually find gold with the way that they handled Deadpool and also Logan, right? So, in which case, they would rather have, Fox to still have creative control and just sit there and handle those IPs the way that they see fit. I would have to say that, yeah, here's the thing, if we get all of those IPs back under the Marvel reign, what are the chances that they're going to stay individual like they are right now, or if they're just going to be sterilized and made PG-13 all along the board? Yeah.
Why? Because it's Disney?
Yeah. And like all the other Marvel...
Don't they?
What's up?
Disney has some rated R movies, don't they?
No, they do not. Not anymore. Nope. They used to have Miramax Studios, all right? Yeah. That was their line of movies that they put out. But Miramax has not existed since the late 90s. All right? So there has not been a Disney-published movie that's been out that's been R-rated in like over 20 fucking years.
So then that's not good news for the Deadpool then.
Or other folks who may be looking at stuff like, hey, give us something like the way that Blade 1 and 2 were done. Or like Logan,
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, Disney's going to have to figure it out. I mean, I would think that this is something that I'm pretty sure that Disney internally is figuring out, that if they do take 20th Century Fox, they're going to have to take some of the rated R movies. It's just the way it is. Or the adult content. They're just going to have to. That's something that they're going to have to deal with.
Can you imagine them doing a brand new Aliens?
No.
PG-13.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Or
it's funny because
another Predator, PG-13. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too.
My look says all.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems very interesting. Wow. I mean, we'll have to see.
They would basically cut those franchises off altogether.
Yeah. I mean,
I think they should be dead anyway. I mean,
no.
What? I don't need another Predator movie.
Well, wait a minute. But even that, what if they actually have the licenses for these movies and they're not a part of the freaking streaming service that they're going to be implementing because of the R ratings?
Well, here's the thing with the streaming and everything else. They can go ahead and they can easily, if it's set up anything like Netflix, they can go ahead and easily gate that stuff off. All right,
they'll have the censored versions up.
Or yeah, the thing about it is that as far as it goes,
yeah, because now that you mentioned it earlier, who's left? Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Paramount,
Universal, Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Warner. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Starship Troopers is a rated R Disney movie. Enemy of the State was a rated R Disney movie. Snake Eyes.
Are they?
Man Love the Woman? Pretty Woman? I'm just saying, those are some.
Enemy of the State was the best movie that you mentioned from that group.
Are those Disney or were they published under Miramax?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Because I don't
like,
think we're actually Disney themselves that.
No, Miramax. Here's the thing: Disney went ahead. They had Miramax, and what Miramax was open for was, all right.
It's kind of like the way Konami was with Ultra Games.
Well, yeah, it was like the less mainstream movies, and then the movies that they didn't think that they can go ahead and market as G or PG or anything like that. All right, that's what they use Miramax for.
What, the next Roger Rabbit movie is going to have Star Wars and Marvel characters in it?
I'm still waiting for Iron Man to show up in fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Wow.
You know it's gonna fucking happen.
It's going to have to.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna be there right alongside Darth Vader.
Oh no. I'm picturing all of that, and I'm trying not to. But I can't deny. I can't deny that.
No, you have the mental picture already in your head of Iron Mickey.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Iron Mickey with the repulsor rays. Yep.
Iron Mickey.
Yep. It's gonna happen.
No, wait. If Mickey Mouse busts out a proton cannon, that would be fucking awesome.
War Mickey. Yeah. Okay. I can see it.
War Mickey.
I mean, you got Cloud. You got that Aerith. You got all these people in the Disney in it already, so
I am just awaiting the day that Aerith gets force choked by Vader. Yep.
War Mickey, not War Machine. War Mickey. Oh my God.
So let's get back on topic.
Yeah, but do you think that this deal is even possible because of all that's included in it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. So you got these people that's saying, from the Wall Street
Journal and other sources, yeah.
Sources saying that they're not that even maybe big government's going to step in and say Disney, no. Pretty much like what happened to the I hate to say it, but the LA Lakers. They're like, nope, it's unfair. You can't have all the good players.
Well, I think the thing about it was that I think here's the thing with the details that have been leaked out. I think the folks in charge, if these talks are actually going on, have already considered that, and that's part of the reason why they're only going for the creative resources.
That's another thing. Because, too. That's what I was about to say. The talks would not have even gotten this far.
Yeah,
if all of that would have been in consideration, because. Again, I don't think they're trying to acquire everything, just as Reverend alluded to. They're not acquiring the news and sports. They're not going for that.
Yeah. And here's the thing about the creative resources too, is that for the majority of the major franchises that Fox has, give it 50, 60 years, it's going to be public domain anyways. So I mean that might be one of the reasons why they're going ahead and they're going out of their way and they're very much targeting. Hey, look, when it comes to the content makers, to the content creators, or your news sources and or sports and stuff like that, we do not give a flying fuck about that. We just want your back library and your creative studios. That's it. Your content makers. All right.
I mean, couldn't they just go after the mutants? Couldn't they just go after the superheroes?
Here's the thing. Like I said, if they go after the mutants and the superheroes, all right, I wouldn't be surprised if Fox holds those things ransom for $10 billion easily.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that even if they go ahead and they get those, you have to wonder whether or not they're going to be able to turn that around, where they're going to be able to get that $10 billion not only back, but back fast enough to make the deal worthwhile. Like I said, if they get a hold of all the other creative stuff, and then they turn around, they have this streaming service that they're already putting in place and that they've already announced, and they have this content all lined up like that, then that right there creates like this huge well where it's like, hey, look, people are already subscribing from anywhere from $9 to $20 a fucking month, times that by a few million people, in a little bit, they'll make that 60 billion back in like no time.
Yeah.
faster than they would with any of the gross box office and DVD sales of any of these movies that they put out. And that's the game that they're probably trying to play right now.
Again, one thing that we got to consider as well is that is Disney going to compromise on the ratings for the movies? Because some of this stuff, especially Deadpool, the X-Men, that's those could be good rated R movies easily.
Well, here's the thing: if they go ahead and they just have that stuff that people are going to pay for on a recurring basis for access to, then they don't even have to mess with the actual content itself.
No. At
that point. Okay, and that's kind of what they're probably looking at as far as the fastest return on investment. For what they do after that, if they have all of that stuff and they're able to host it as part of a streaming service, they are already halfway there to making their money back.
Oh, I'm not worried about
it. And they don't even have to do any other work after that other than make sure that they maintain servers to go ahead and make sure that streaming doesn't fall, the bandwidth doesn't fall under a certain rate.
The house that Mickey built, there's no problem about them. They'll make their mony back real easy. Mickey
built.
Yep. I mean
it's just the way it is. I mean, look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're coming up on Infinity War now. And
that's because other pictures were handling that before that. Like I said, Paramount Pictures was handling the distribution.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying though. I mean, it's still Disney's still making their money back from when they bought those other rights.
No, they've already made the money back from Marvel, and they've already made their money back from
the hand of those guys, man.
From Lucasfilms also.
Oh, damn, that's why Sony was shaking hands with them for Spider-Man, because they double made their money back from that Ghostbusters debacle.
Wow, shots fired across the bow.
Truth fired.
It's true though. It's true.
Damn.
All right. Yeah, that was the other company that we forgot about was Sony. All right, seriously, that was the other company that we forgot about.
Sony
forgot about them.
Yeah. But really, all of this is pretty interesting. And yes, we will admit right now, folks, that all we are is armchair analysts. We're fans who are excited about this happening one way or another. All right, because look, the truth of the matter is that if it happens, then wow, that's going to really change the landscape. But if it doesn't happen and we're still left with what we have, I'm pretty cool with what we have right now, to tell you the truth. I mean, whether or not you go out of your way and see like a brand new Deadpool film or a brand new Aliens film, a brand new, Predator film or anything else like that, or if you lament the fact that something like Fan Four Stick was ever made and put on screen, that's something that you're going to have to come to terms on your own. All right. But those are our thoughts in a nutshell. What we really want to know is, what are your thoughts, folks, if you're watching this video? If you've had your ear to the ground and you've heard about the possible Disney-Fox deal, whether or not Disney is actually going to go ahead and acquire those portions of 20th Century Fox or not, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Let us know by leaving us a comment below. While you're at it, if you think we are worth your time and you like this video, go ahead and mash on that like button. And if you really like what we do here and you want to stick around, you want to see the other new videos that we go ahead and drop out every once in a while, I suggest you go ahead and subscribe to our channels and turn those notifications on, and you'll know whenever we put out a new video. With that, all of our bullshit about the possible Disney-Fox deal ends right here. I'm the Reverend.
The Theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse One.
All forms of entertainment has the right to exist, even if you don't like it. I wonder if they ever do that handshake and they'll say, business as usual at the end of that deal. Who knows? Credits.
Is it going to be Mickey and Bart? I don't know who's going to be the people. I know one of them is going to be the mouse, but I don't know who's going to be on the other hand. Maybe it's Mickey with a face hugger on his face. I'm just saying.